you guys are vegetarian? How long have you been vegetarian? Okay, good, yeah. Have you kind of thought about making the change to vegan?
No, I don't think it really fit like my lifestyle. I think I'm just like really used to it. I don't think I could make a huge change, but I do like admire people who do go that way.
Do you know a lot of the information about what's happening?
No, not really.
Thank you for admitting that. Actually, I really respect that. I feel like it's just, that's the thing. I was born and raised on a pig farm, so totally opposite to you, who's been vegetarian your whole life, which is fantastic. So thank you for already causing a lot less cruelty than most people in that case. That's actually super important to us. I was born and raised on a pig farm, so like I've eaten meat my whole life. And then when I went vegetarian, I went vegetarian because I realized like we don't need to eat animals to live. And when I made the change, pretty much kind of like you, I just didn't research. I was like, I feel better knowing animals aren't dying for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I can not consume them, I was like, I don't need to know about all the cruelty because I'm not supporting it. And I really, really, really wish that somebody would have told me about the dairy and egg industry sooner. Because I was vegetarian for 8 years before going vegan. And I still say, like, if somebody would have told me and not shamed me, like you guys, I don't want you guys to ever feel attacked or shamed or blamed for the choices you're making. It's just a matter of us educating you guys more and showing you guys that there's so many better options, right? So when I finally did the research behind the dairy and egg industry, there's a lot of cruelty that people aren't aware of. So for example, cows don't naturally give milk. So this is one of the biggest misconceptions is people think like, oh, cows need to be milked or their udders are going to explode. That's not the case. Mammals produce milk for one reason and one reason only, and that's to feed their young. And cows, just like us, when we become pregnant, we carry our child for 9 months. A cow carries their baby for 9 months, same thing. And then after that 9 months in the dairy industry, the cows are taken from their mothers at birth. And where did the baby cow goes? It goes into the veal crates and it's sold for veal or cheap beef. So we've got a ton of people that are against the veal industry and wouldn't consume a baby cow, but yet they don't realize that the veal industry literally would not exist without the dairy industry. Babies have to be taken from their mothers for us to have their milk. Because if not, the milk would go to the babies and then we wouldn't be able to sell it for ice cream and cheese and all these things that we want, right? So it's just getting people to see that like we're actually taking babies away from their mothers. And most slaughterhouse workers, not slaughterhouse investigators, will tell you that one of the worst cries that they've ever heard come from an animal come from a mother cow grieving the loss of her child. So this is like just to get you thinking, like I understand.
Yeah, for sure.
Totally. And then with the egg industry as well, this was a big shocker to me. So 50% of the chicks that are born are male in the egg industry. And because they're not female and they can't be used for their reproductive system, and they're not genetically bred to grow large enough for meat consumption, they're actually discarded right away. So it has to happen, legalized standard procedure has to happen within 3 days of them being born. So 50% of the chicks that are born, male, they get thrown into large plastic bags to suffocate and die, or into grinding machines to purulate them and die. And these are 3-day-old babies. And people don't know this. So like every egg that you eat, a big male chick was killed for that. And like every glass of milk takes a baby away from its mother. And so I'm not trying to traumatize you guys. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know. And I fully believe in students. We're heart-centered beings. We don't, like, this is where we belong to live, and we've just been disconnected from it for so long. And it's just wanting to get people to question it a bit more without you guys feeling attacked or shamed, right? So, I mean, I get that you said you still eat meat as well, right? How often do you eat it?
I barely eat anymore, so like 2-3 times, not 3 times a week, but like once a day probably.
Okay, so not every meal.
Not every meal.
So that's already good. That's good that you're making changes in that direction. Mm-hmm. Is it just natural, or you've kind of thought about the aspect of
just natural? Don't have time to eat sometimes. Just crackers and stuff.
Yeah, student life.
Yeah.
So that's and so that's kind of where we're trying to help fill that gap, because I do recognize that a lot of students are saying this to me right now. They're saying that they either want to go, they're kind of curious about it, but it's not easy, right? So if we can supply you guys better options out here, and what I would actually like to see happening too is better prices as well. So I don't think you guys should be charged more than $5 for a plate of food.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge disconnect happening with the faculty members to the students. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of students tell me that they're starting to feel like they're only considered as numbers right now. Like, they look at you guys like your money. They look at you guys like you're just another number. And that's not the way it should be. Especially with like mental health on the rise. We've got stress levels, anxiety levels, depression rates, all these things on the rise. And yet we're skyrocketing prices of things. We're feeding students things that actually make them more sick. So this is like that energy perspective as well, is like a lot of people don't realize that even if the animal had lived on a happy farm and lived a full great life, we do see a lot of those farms here in Alberta, so it can kind of create the fairy tale because you see a lot of cows just grazing. So people think, oh, but they're living a happy life, so it's okay if I eat beef. But the slaughterhouse process is always the same, and it's never nice. And those cows are being killed at 18 months old, and their natural lifespan is 18 to 20 years old. So like, no matter what, we're killing these animals as their babies still. And so it's like just getting people to see that there's so many other options and we don't need to be hurting them. And when they go through the slaughterhouse process, a lot of the fear, stress, anxiety, depression, the things that the animals are going through, that's actually going into the meat before they die. So we're energy beings. So it's literally like you're taking it in, and we wonder why we're so stressed out and we have so much anxiety going on. Well, we're turning our bodies into graveyards. Like, my body's not a graveyard. I don't want my body to have dead animals in it anymore. Like, that's just trying to get people to make that link, because these animals they're dying in insane numbers. So I'm not going to take too much more of your guys' time, but I do want to leave you guys with one fact. So the number thing is something that not a lot of people realize. And when we're talking about the animal agriculture industry, we usually talk about the fact that there's 70 billion livestock that are being killed every single year for animal agriculture. So unfortunately, that's not the accurate number of all the cruelty for all the animals and all the issues. So what we're doing right now is we're killing over 1 trillion animals every single year for human greed and consumption. And not a lot of people even understand how big that number is. So breaking it down, if it takes seconds into days, 1 million seconds equals 12 years, 1 billion seconds equals 31 years, and 1 trillion seconds equals 31,688 years. And we're killing 1 trillion animals every single year. And there's a huge difference between 12 days, 31 years, and 31,000 years. You know what I mean? So like, it breaks down to 32,000 animals every second are being killed. 32, 64. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're done. Just, they're out. They're checked out. We killed them. Like, we don't care. And so it's like, I know that it's so easy to hold on to our excuses that it tastes good. I held on to it forever. But like, just taste really justify killing. Especially when it's not only just killing like the animals, it's hurting our health. We're starting to lose people under the age of 60 more and more now, and it's also killing our planet. So I just want you guys to consider making the change. But like I said, please know that you're supported in however that means to you. So like, I know realistically, and I think it goes without saying, that being a vegan animal rights activist, I want you guys to go vegan. I want it to be overnight, and I want it to be for the animals. But I know the reality of that situation. So I just want you guys to feel supported in the direction and make the changes that you can make, please. And just know that if you guys ever see me on campus and have questions, just to come and chat with me. I will always guide you in the right direction. I will never go angry vegan on you. I'm not here to yell at you guys. I'm just here to help guide people in that direction and help save our planet and the animals. So you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going to leave you guys with just a couple things to look at, though, if you're curious. And then I will get going. But this is the Starch solution. So this is something I highly recommend taking a look at. You can Google or YouTube him. He's a doctor of over 35 years. It is literally the cheapest way to eat, the best quality brain fuel, and the longest lasting energy levels. And it goes back to the basics of like potatoes, pasta, rice, lentils, chickpeas, oatmeal, bananas, like dirt cheap staple foods. And when I eat this way, it literally costs me no more than like $40 to $50 a week to eat. So like I'm saying, as students that don't have a lot of budget right now anyways, it's a healthiest way, best way for the planet, the animals, and for your budgets. So really, really awesome stuff in there. And then this is a documentary that I would highly recommend taking a look at on YouTube. So I'm only gonna leave you two. There are amazing documentaries and stuff that you guys can check out on Netflix. So this one's called The Best Speech You'll Ever Hear. And I guarantee you it lives by its name. And it's by Yourofsky. And ultimately, he's just talking to a bunch of students. So he's talking to a university class. It's just like a basic lecture. It's all him talking. There's 2 videos that he shows throughout it. He will warn you before he puts the videos on. And they are very important to see the videos. So they're not too long. I think they're only about 2 to 3 minute videos, but very important to see. And then this is the one that I think is very, very, very important for everybody to check out. And I will never, ever lie to you guys and tell you that you're about to watch Sunshine and Rainbows when you're not. This one sucks. Straight up, this one will strike up so much in you guys. It probably will make you cry. It'll make you angry. You'll want to scream. You'll want to know how the F this is even possible to go down. It sucks, but it is so, so, so important that we're willing to watch what is going on with the animals. So please know that you guys have support, and if you watch it, there's so many groups in the area that if you guys want to like end up getting involved in activism and really like step foot into it, like there's so many areas and groups in this area. If you just type in vegan activist in Edmonton, stuff will pop up. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much.